You're listening to Your Calm Parenting Path. I'm your host Nina, a mindful parenting coach and mum, here to help you go from overwhelmed and reactive to calm, confident and connected with your kids. This show is for parents who want to raise their children with more patience, less stress and a whole lot more joy. Because small shifts make a big impact and you can build the parenting life you've always wanted. If you want to see what I'm up to, follow me on Instagram at Mindful Parenting Lifestyle, and don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's get started. Hey there, and welcome back to Your Calm Parenting Path. Today's episode is for anyone who's ever opened the door to their child's bedroom and thought, where do I even begin? Maybe you've asked your child to clean their room 5 times already today, or maybe you've given up and done it yourself just to avoid the fight. If you're nodding along, you're not so alone. This is one of the most common frustrations that parents share with me. In this episode, we're going to take a step back from the mess and look at what's really going on when kids won't clean their room. I'll walk you through a calm, connected approach that helps children learn to take responsibility for their space in a way that feels manageable for them and a whole lot less stressful for you. We'll talk about how to make tidy up time easier and even fun, especially for younger kids, and why this seemingly small task can actually be the beginning of some really important lifelong habits. Let's dive in. Before we can help our kids take care of their space, we need to get really clear on what we're asking them to do and why. There are 2 distinctions that can make a huge difference in how we approach this. The difference between cleaning and tidying, and the difference between something needing to be done versus just wanting it to be done. Okay, cleaning and tidying often get lumped together, but they're actually quite different. Cleaning is about hygiene. It's the grown-up stuff like wiping sticky surfaces, scrubbing bathroom sinks, vacuuming under the bed. It's about keeping a space healthy and safe. Tidying, on the other hand, is about putting things back where they belong. That might be putting clothes in a hamper, toys in their basket, or books back on a shelf. It's about resetting a space so it feels calm and functional. Most of the time when we say clean your room, what we really mean is tidy your space. And when we're not clear about that, it can leave kids confused, overwhelmed, and even resistant. So when your 5-year-old stares blankly at you after being told to clean up, it's not defiance, it's likely confusion or overwhelm. Instead, try giving them small, doable tasks like, let's put all the cars back in the box together. Can you gather up all the clothes on the floor and I'll open the laundry basket? By naming the task and narrowing the focus, you're turning clean your room from a mountain into a manageable step, and you're helping them build those skills for the future. The second distinction is around whether this task is something that actually needs to happen or whether it's something we simply want to happen. Now, this is just a gentle invitation to check in with yourself. It's not a judgment. Needing a room to be cleaned might be about safety, like tripping hazards or old food being left out, or the shared responsibility in a space that other family members use. But often, our desire for tidiness comes from our own emotional need for calm. I know it does in my case anyway. Maybe you feel anxious when the house is messy. Maybe you were raised to see a tidy space as a sign of being in control. Maybe it's just been a long day and the mess feels like one more thing you can't manage. There's nothing wrong with wanting a tidy space. But when we acknowledge that it's about us, we can approach our kids with more flexibility and connection. We might say, hey, I know this doesn't bother you, but I feel really overwhelmed when I see everything on the floor. Can we spend 5 minutes tidying up together before dinner? That small shift, naming the request, connecting before directing, can change the whole dynamic. It becomes less about forcing compliance and more about working together to create a home environment that works for everyone. When you know which category your request falls into, need or want, you can match your tone, timing, and expectations to that. It's a small little mindset shift that can have a big impact on how your child responds. Okay, once you've clarified what you're asking and why, the next step is to support your child in actually doing it without yelling, bribing, or having to repeat yourself 10 times. This is where a simple 3-step mindful approach can make all the difference. It's especially helpful if your child tends to get overwhelmed by big tasks or if you find yourself constantly repeating the same instructions. The first step is to connect before you correct, and we've talked about this in previous episodes. This means approaching your child not with a demand, but with warmth and presence. For younger kids, this might look like sitting beside them and saying, "Wow, this dinosaur city you've made is amazing. Can you tell me about it before we tidy it up together?" The little pause to engage with their world makes them feel seen, and it makes it easier to transition into the task. For older kids, think 10 years and up, it might sound like, "Hey, I know you've had a big day. I'd love to work out a plan to tidy your room together. It's been feeling a bit hard for me to walk through, and I'm guessing it's probably not feeling great for you either." The second step is to be clear and collaborative. Clean your room is vague. It means something different to every child and often to every parent too. For younger kids, try offering a choice. Do you want to start with the blocks or the books? Or let's put the animals in their box together, then we can stack the puzzles. For older kids, you can create a checklist together. What do you think we need to do to get your room back to a calm place? Clothes away, clean 4, rubbish in the bin. The key here is to break the task into manageable chunks and invite your child to be part of the solution. The third step is to stay calm, kind, and consistent. This might sound simple, but I know it's not always easy, especially if this has become a recurring stress point in your home. For younger kids, it might be saying, "I won't let you leave the room like this. It's not safe to have toys all over the floor. I'll help you with the first part, then we'll finish together." For older kids, you could say, "We don't need perfection, but we do need this to be done before bedtime. Would you rather get it done all at once or do it in 2 10-minute bursts?" Being calm and firm doesn't mean you're giving in. It means you're leading with connection and clarity, which is what our kids need most when they feel overwhelmed. Now, if this process is something you'd like to work on more deeply across the whole household, not just with kids, but with partners too, be sure to go back and listen to episode 11, where I spoke with Eva Rado. We talked about how families can share responsibilities more fairly using her Rewire framework, and how getting kids involved in caring for their space is part of something much bigger. It's not just about tidying, it's about respect, contribution, and building habits that serve everyone in the family. And I'll link to this episode in the show notes. Okay, so let's talk about our younger ones, toddlers, preschoolers, even early primary schoolers. At this age, they don't have the internal motivation to tidy, but what they do have is an openness to play. So if we can tap into that, tidy up time doesn't have to be a fight. It can actually be something they look forward to. In fact, just yesterday, my boys were asking if we could play the monster game, which is where they pretend to be a monster, picking up all the toys and putting them into the basket. I don't get it, but they love it. Okay, so one other thing you could do is to try sorting by colour. Let's find all the red toys and pop them in this basket. Or use a tidy up timer. We're going to see how many things we can put away before the song ends. Music, races, even silly characters, like a puppet who doesn't know how to clean up, can all turn the task into something playful. One of my favourite tricks is to make it a team effort. For example, I'll hold the basket while you toss in the blocks, or let's see if we can put away all the red things on the floor. We'll go through all the colours of the rainbow. The key here is that you're not sending your child off to do this alone. You're doing it with them. You're teaching the steps, helping them feel capable, and setting the foundation for independence in the future. So it might just feel like another chore, but teaching your child to tidy their room is about so much more than neat floors and made beds. It's about building life skills, organisation, responsibility, time management, and giving your child the sense that they can take care of their environment. When we support our children in learning these habits, rather than doing it all for them, we're sending a powerful message. I believe you're capable, and I'm here to help you grow. That belief becomes part of how they see themselves. It shapes how they approach schoolwork, friendships, future jobs, even how they care for their own homes one day. So if your toddler needs help picking up every toy, that's okay. You're not failing, you're scaffolding. And if your tween rolls their eyes at yet another tidy-up reminder, remember, they're still learning too. Another part of the picture that we haven't talked about yet is that sometimes the issue isn't motivation, it's overwhelm. If your child's room is overflowing with stuff, no amount of tidy-up songs is going to make it feel manageable. And this is where simplification can be a game changer. Kim John Payne, author of Simplicity Parenting, found that when families reduced clutter, especially toys, kids played more creatively, argued less, and were better able to focus and regulate their emotions. A simplified environment supports a calmer nervous system too, not just for kids, but for adults. And I think we can all relate to that. So, take a look at what's in your child's space. Are there too many toys? Are things hard to put away because they don't have a clear home? You might try a toy rotation, keeping some toys out and storing others away, or labelling baskets with pictures to make tidying easier. And if your child is older, involve them in the process. Ask, what don't you use anymore? Or what makes this space feel heavy? Ask yourself, is their wardrobe space actually functional for them? Are hangers too high, drawers too stiff, or clothes overstuffed and hard to sort through? Sometimes it's not that they're unwilling to put things away, it's that the setup isn't age-appropriate or user-friendly. The same goes for toy or book storage. If a child can't reach the shelf or has to dump out a whole box just to find one thing, they're far less likely to tidy it up afterwards. When we make spaces more accessible and manageable, we're not just reducing mess, we're helping our kids build confidence and independence. It becomes less about nagging and more about enabling them to succeed. You don't need a Pinterest-perfect playroom. You need space your child can manage and feel good in. There's a wonderful quote in a book called Messy Minimalism by Rachel Crawford, and she says that a decluttered home isn't one that's always tidy, it's one that is easily tidied. And I really like that and invite you to think about if your home is one which is easily tidied. Okay, so here is your small shift for this week. Choose one part of your child's room, just one, and work together to reset or simplify it. That might be decluttering the bookshelf, tidying the toy box, or even creating a little calm zone in one corner. If your child is younger, make it playful. If they're older, ask for ideas and invite them into the process. And then step back and notice. Do they use the space more? Do they seem calmer? Are they more willing to tidy it next time? When your child won't clean their room, it's not just about the mess. It's about how we communicate, how we teach, and how we support them to grow. So next time you feel that frustration rising, pause. Ask yourself, am I asking for cleaning or tidying? Is this a want or a need? And then go back to connection, clarity, and calm. Your child doesn't need perfection, they need guidance. And with your support, they'll get there. If this episode has sparked a light bulb moment, I'd love to hear about it. And if you're facing daily battles around mess or motivation and you'd like some personalised support, you can book an SOS Parenting support call through the link in the show notes. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on your Calm Parenting Path. Thanks for listening to Your Calm Parenting Path. I am so glad you're here, and I hope this episode gave you something useful to take into your parenting journey. If you'd like to dive deeper, sign up to my mailing list at mindfulparentinglifestyle.com.au for more tips and insights, or book a free chat to learn how we can work together. And don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. I look forward to speaking with you next time on Your Calm Parenting Path.